original rule was the women will never be bartenders. And that was carried out by India till just this past week when they passed a law and they said women can now be bartenders. So watch out, folks. When you go to visit India, you will have women bartenders just like you have here in Washington, D.C.
I think it's actually terrific because what so happens in the Indian nightlife is that men will go out and you have women who are like in these clubs, right? But they're socially dubious, right? Their distinction is sometimes socially dubious. But if you're a bartender, you're behind the bar, you're serving, I think it'll actually elevate and lift women into a better position per India's social nightlife than they have today. I think it's a positive step.
Social activist by the name of Nafisa Ali said, women should have the power to decide for themselves where they want to work and not to be governed by the rules thinking women are not capable of handling themselves.
That's right.
They can handle the drunks. They do it at home.
They handle the drunks. It also removes the social taboo, right? It removes the social taboo. If women enter that space, I think the idea of going out for a social evening at a club won't be quite so dubiously distinct as it is today in India. And maybe men will drink less. Or maybe they'll drink more. I don't know. Folks, another sign of the times. In a down economy, more prenups and a new concept of divorce insurance is coming into play. More couples tying the knot are taking precautions to protect themselves financially. A September survey by the American Academy of Matrimonial Lawyers found that 73% of divorce lawyers reported seeing an increase in demand for prenuptial agreements. Folks, it's not surprising. When you're in a recession, you're trying to protect your assets. And these days, it's about not just the house and the kids, it's about your pension plan. So a new concept has emerged called divorce insurance. Actually, a lawyer came up with this because he was going through a very ugly divorce himself, and he realized there really ought to be some form of protection for if you're facing a divorce. So he created a new site called Wedlock Website. And here what you can do is you can actually come up with a personalized estimate on the cost of a potential divorce, including expenses like moving, childcare, counseling, furnishing a new household. And the policy can be purchased in a range from $99 to $1,000 per month, depending on your financial liabilities. You know, I read this story in the Post, and I didn't know whether to be, discouraged or encouraged. Discouraged because obviously it's a very morbid trend, but encouraged in that, people often shy away from marriage because of being devastated financially because of a divorce. And maybe this is just something to catch up with the sign of the times.
Tea partiers would say that that is not the karma. The karma is to go through hell. So you will know never to do divorce, or even your friends and neighbors will know not to do divorce. But if you can buy insurance, everybody will go through a divorce.
You can argue both sides of this. You can say that it's easier to enter into a marriage because getting out of it will be less painful as a result of things like this. On the other hand, if it's so easy to get out of a marriage, most people will opt not to marry in the first place. And so as a matter of fact, what's growing in popularity is what's called a cohabitation agreement. Kind of like a prenup, maybe not quite as far-reaching, but a lot more 24 to 34-year-olds who choose not to marry. By the way, that statistic has jumped from 34.5% to 46.3% of 24 to 34-year-olds are not married and have no desire to get married. They are agreeing to this cohabitation agreement as a way to get past divorces, prenups, all of that mess.
Folks, Diwali is on November 5th, and every year United Hindu Jain Temples put out a fantastic day called Diwali Mela, and this time it will be on October 30th. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So make sure you make time to go visit the Mela. Plenty of food, religion, and a lot of culture.
Let's face it, it's all about the shopping, and you can find lots of shopping and lots of food and lots of color. It's a great place for the kids. Well, folks, that's about all we have for you today, but please stay tuned because coming up next is an interview with Dr. Siddharth Shah. There's lots of different kinds of stress in the world, but he's here to talk to us about the difference between vicarious trauma and the effect it has on the body versus burnout. Very interesting stuff.
Well, folks, stay tuned for that. And from Asta and I, you have a wonderful weekend. Namaste.
Namaste.